You're listening to the Vocabbett podcast, where I help students improve their vocabulary for the SAT, ACT, and life itself using my unique and research-backed story-based method. On this podcast, I'm sharing the best tips and tricks for a more enriched vocabulary and pain-free test day. Hello, and welcome to episode 67 of the Vocabbett podcast. I'm Erica Abbott, a former English and history teacher, the author of the young adult novel Ahead of Her Time, and the founder of the eponymously named vocabulary company Vocabbett. We're taking a break from our regularly scheduled vocabulary-boosting content today to talk about some front page news. This was literally front page of the New York Times, prominently featured many other places. The College Board recently announced that they're scrapping the essay component of the SAT, and they're getting rid of SAT subject tests. Subject tests are like mini SATs about a specific subject. Before you start feeling too bad for the College Board, though, there are a couple of things that I think bear mentioning. The reason they're scrapping the SAT subject tests is that the AP program has become so popular. If you've taken AP Euro all year, you're probably going to take the AP exam at the end of the year, not an SAT subject test. But the AP program is also owned by the College Board. So from a long-term perspective, they've taken their eggs out of a basket that gives them one end-of-year test fee with the subject test and moved them into a basket that gives them fees and prominence year-round with APs, plus an end-of-year test fee. I'm not against APs, but I do think that when one organization has so much control, there are bound to be issues because we don't all want the same thing. And the AP program is taking over schools left and right. APs went from an elite option for maybe math and English for juniors and seniors to now there are 38 AP courses available. And there's pressure on schools to carry more and more, pressure on students to take more and more. Because anytime there's a number, you obviously want the highest number. And my issue is, where's the room for individuality in any of this? Is this actually what's best for students? I'm obviously all for being a high achiever, but let's pretend I'm in school right now, trying to build a bright future. Colleges have basically said, if the AP is an option, you're better off taking it. With elite colleges, the line is more, you better take it. So I slog my way through years of classes I'm not interested in, sacrificing time and energy I could be spending honing actual skills and passions. I'm the biggest history nerd out there, but if you told me I had to take AP US, I would drown in a puddle of my own tears. I've taken US history courses. I know US history, but it's not that interesting to me. And that's okay. There are people who find Egyptology pointless. That's okay. I love it. You don't have to. But there isn't an AP Egyptology. There isn't an AP Ancient Rome or AP Ancient Greece. There's not even an AP Ancient History or AP Renaissance. There are 38 APs, but 1,000 different interests. And the College Board would likely say, well, we have an AP research course where students can deeply explore an academic topic of their choice, which I kind of interpret as, okay, kids, you can have one niche. Go write a term paper about JFK. You're welcome. When I think back to my years in high school, hands down, I learned the most and grew the most when I got to explore my interests. At Breck, where I went, we had something called May program in high school, and it was the most amazing thing. Regular classes ended at the end of April, and for May, you just got to take electives. I took a mock trial course one year, decided I never wanted to be a lawyer, saved me a lot of time down the road. I took a course on relationships one year. It was so interesting, and I feel like a very worthwhile thing to learn about. When you're a junior and a senior, you go off campus and either intern, volunteer, or study abroad. Most people study abroad one year and then either intern or volunteer the other. It was so amazing. That helped me get the travel bug that led to Italy and Egypt and Israel and honestly my whole future. I recently thought about going back to teaching, and one of the biggest things I was thinking about was whether I could convince a school down here to do something like May program. I really think it's just so great for everyone's mental health and well-being to have a little more control over their own lives, to do things they actually want to do that are still productive and honestly probably further your future more than just a few more weeks of regular classes. But I knew it would never happen because the APs have such a stranglehold over the curriculum now. No sane teacher would give up all that time. The AP isn't going to change, and their kids would just have that much less time to prepare. Kids and parents would feel like they're putting their futures at risk if they didn't get as high of a score on the AP or if they just didn't take it. And both of these are totally worthwhile concerns. so it just kind of wouldn't happen. What's most interesting to me about all of this is the effect that APs have on private schools, or independent schools, as they like to call themselves now. Because they're smaller, independent schools have a harder time offering the full roster of APs. They tend not to have as many teachers, so it's hard to offer 38 different AP classes. So they're kind of disadvantaged going in. But instead of embracing that autonomy and creating a curriculum that celebrates each student's individuality and really helps them prepare for the future, they double down on the AP. Very interesting, especially when you see independent schools bragging about all the APs they offer, when you can get APs at any public school, usually a lot more APs at a public school actually, without the $20,000 annual check. So anyway, don't feel bad for the College Board. They're a savvy organization, and with this change, they're just moving their eggs from one basket to another. If anything, I think they're still far too powerful. There's nothing wrong with some APs. There are some really great AP courses out there. But to have APs be the end-all, be-all of your high school experience, I think is a waste of potential. We're doing such a disservice to our kids by standardizing and stymieing them. Let them explore their interests. Don't know what I can do about it other than draw your attention to the fact that we're celebrating getting rid of the SAT while the College Board sets up shop over the entire high school curriculum. I'd love to see independent schools wise up to this, but change takes time. Anyway, that's it for today. I'll see you guys next week.